Hey, what is up, mortals? It is Trina here with a new video for you. In this video, we'll dive into the best Dragon Ball fusion from the Dragon Ball Z and Super anime. I just wanted to greet you guys by saying just sit back and relax. You're in for a treat. So, let's get started. On a distant planet far, far away from Earth lives a race of humanoid warriors known as the Saiyans. In their golden era, the Saiyans were the uncontested strongest beings in the universe. And then, a little while later, a few of them got bored and figured out how to combine with one another to become even stronger for the sole sake of being able to say they were able to do it. If you'll remember, our last Dragon Ball tier list sought to rank each of the Dragon Ball Saiyans based on their own strength, but it is also worth considering the power level of these Saiyans when fused with one another. This, dear viewers, is what we will accomplish today as we put the power levels of the fused Saiyans of the multiverse to the test, and compare them against each other in our fusion tier list. Unlike last time, though, we won't just be considering Saiyans. This time, all KmanKool fused beings are up for the running of the best fusion in the multiverse, but there are a few ground rules to keep in mind. When I say KmanKool, I am referring to fusions that happened during the Dragon Ball Super and the Dragon Ball Z anime. So fusions that occurred outside of those media, such as those that happened in the Dragon Ball Fusions game, will not be considered. Like last time, fusions will be ranked according to how strong they are compared to others on the list, with F being the weakest and S being the strongest, with us crowning an overall strongest fusion at the end of this list. All fusions will be considered and have their strength based on their previous fights, but on the other hand, if a fusion has never been in a fight, we will try to estimate their power based on the information we have available. It's important to think of these rankings like a bell curve compared to other fusions. So just because a fusion is ranked lower than another does not mean they're a bad fusion or even a bad fighter for that matter. All it means is that when compared to other fused fighters, they are just not as strong. So with that out the way, let's begin with our F tier fusions. Now these should be pretty predictable selections if you're a fan of the series. In this tier, we will feature all the failed fusion combinations. This includes Skinny Gogeta, Veku, also known as Fat Gogeta, Fat Gotenks, and Skinny Gotenks. All of these fusions resulted from a failed fusion dance performance, resulting in a fighter weaker than the sum of its parts. For many of these failed fusions, there hasn't been a time where they've actually been in a fight, and for a good reason. Their physical shape lacks the muscle mass that would provide them with the strength and agility needed to stand on their own in a fight. Although I will say Veku did enter a fight once, but it ended promptly after once he had learned he was no match for who he was facing. So given all of these facts, I think it's safe to say that these failed fusions make an excellent baseline for a tier list as F tier fusions. Up next, we have our D tier fusions. While our F tier is made up of fusions that are utterly useless in a fight, our D tier selection is comprised of a fusion that could be potentially viable in a fight. It's just that they've been completely left in the dust by other competitors on this list. So first, in this tier, we have Piccolo. I'm aware that in the anime, after he fuses with Kami, he declares that he is neither Kami nor Piccolo, just a Namkian, but given that the Dragon Ball series continues to call him Piccolo, that's what we will call him for the sake of this tier list. Piccolo uses a unique fusion technique known as Namkian fusion that is only used by those from the planet Namek. Unlike the fusion method used on Earth, where it's a joining of two people to create a separate, stronger being, Namkian fusion is essentially just absorbing one Namkian into another, with the absorber obtaining all the power of the absorbee. Also, traditionally, the limit for fusion is 2, but Namkians seem to be able to merge with an unlimited amount of themselves. Although Piccolo is only fused with 2 other Namkians. There is Kami, as mentioned before, and a Namkian warrior named Nail are fused with Piccolo. These Namkians combined are able to accomplish great things throughout the Dragon Ball series, with them even being able to go toe-to-toe with androids 17 and 18, foes that even Goku and Vegeta struggled to fight. While this was an impressive feat for that time, following the Android saga, all of the characters grew exponentially in power and surpassed the fused Namkians without getting any stronger, leaving them in the dust down here in D tier. Our other D tier pick is another often looked over fusion, given that they have never been infused at any point during the series. Despite this, it's still important to consider the beloved Elder Kai. Although his age is in the tens of millions, Elder Kai is still a capable fighter. Granted, in Dragon Ball, Elder Kai takes more of a sage role, but he can still overpower any lesser Kai in his universe, or any other for that matter. Not to mention, he wrote most of the intergalactic combat playbook and keeps the best secrets to himself. However, it's likely he's very rusty from being trapped in the Z-Sword for so long. For these reasons, we place Elder Kai down here comfortably at D tier. Next, we have our C tier fusions for which we only have one entry. Some of you may not immediately recall the name Kabito Kai, And for those of you who don't, allow me to give you a refresher. Kabito Kai is a fusion of Shin, the supreme Kai of the 7th universe, Shin, and his bodyguard, Kabito. This fusion was primarily used to demonstrate the power of the Patara earrings and never actually got into a fight. Still, this tier list considers the fighting strength of fusions, so for us to make a fair list, we have to consider Kabito Kai. Remember that a fusion is only good as the sum of its parts, and the parts of Kabito Kai are often extremely underestimated. As a reminder, during the World Tournament Saga, Shin, and another name for Supreme Kai, was able to paralyze Gohan at one of his strongest points in the series, long enough for Bobidi's henchmen to sap all of Gohan's energy away. Not to mention, while Kabito is Shin's bodyguard, he also studies under him and has learned many of Shin's fighting techniques. As we discussed last time, though, godlike powers are not the same as the power of the gods. So while Kabito Kai may be a strong fusion, their competitors are just so much stronger. Honey is a free browser add-on available on Google, Opera, Firefox, Safari. If it's a browser, it has Honey. Honey automatically saves you money when you check out on sites like Amazon, Papa John's, or Kohl's, and more. Wherever you shop is a good chance that Honey can save you money. All you have to do when you're checking out at these major sites, click that little orange button and it will scan the entire internet and find discount codes for you. It takes 2 clicks to install Honey. Now anytime you check out Honey, we'll scan the entire internet and find coupon codes for you. If there is a coupon code, they will find it, and if there's not a coupon code, you can rest assured that you are getting the best price possible, and there literally is not one available on the internet. If you install Honey right now, you can save like $50 to $100 on your shopping, doing nothing. There's literally no reason not to install Honey. It takes 2 clicks, 10 million people use it, 100,000 5-star reviews. Unless you hate money, you should install Honey. From this point forward, we'll be examining some of the best fusions that the Dragon Ball multiverse has to offer, as we resume our tier list with our B-tier fusions. In this tier, we have what is probably an expected entry to this tier list, Gotenks. Although he has not emerged frequently, Gotenks has been a differentiating factor in winning battles with the Earth's fate resting in its balance. His primary role was not necessarily as a true opponent, but more to hold the antagonist back long enough for the real cavalry to arrive. It is a shame that Gotenks was not used as often compared to his older counterparts, as he was a genuinely good fighter with him being able to channel the abilities of Super Saiyan abilities. Although I would like to rank him higher, due to his inexperience as 2 children in a trench coat, we give him the rank of B tier. Next up, we have our A tiers. These fusions challenge the best of the best while just barely not being able to reach the top themselves for one reason or another. But without further ado, let's explore our first pick for this tier with someone I'm sure you've all been waiting for, Kefla. Despite being so young, the 2 6 Universe Saiyans fused are an absolute beast. Vados, the angel of the 6th universe, started during the tournament of power that Kefla and Kale's power multiplied together times 10. While Kefla and Kale may not be able to unlock as high of Super Saiyan forms, each form they do unlock is much more powerful compared to their Universe 7 counterparts. For example, Kefla was able to fight against Goku's Ultra Instinct ability at Super Saiyan 2. And also, let us not forget how much energy Kale has inside of her with access to her Berserker ability on her own. Combining the two, you have something that could truly be unstoppable. But again, just because they can fight gods does not mean they are gods, and unfortunately, A tier is as far as they can climb. Now our next pick for A tier finally consists of godly power, at least in part. On paper, Fused Zamasu seems perfect. It's a combination of Zamasu in the body of Goku, along with an alternate version of himself. As he fuses, not only is he multiplying the strength of 2 godly powers, but Zamasu does not have to share his mind with anyone else but himself. It's Zamasu's dream of godly purity. If not, for one thing, Zamasu is not a whole god. Although Goku's body might have the strength of a god, it is still a mortal body, which is something Zamasu has never had to experience before. Zamasu is only half immortal in this fusion, but that is still 50% more than he has ever been used to. This vulnerability can and has been easily exploited by his opponents, which causes him to fall to near perfection here at A tier. Now, for our final tier of this list, S. After presenting our 2 remaining contenders and presenting what each has earned their spot, we'll crown a winner as the best fusion in Dragon Ball. Although this will be a hard decision given the fact that the fusions in question are comprised of the same characters. When Goku and Vegeta fuse, they can take one of 2 forms. By using the fusion dance, the two can become Gogeta, or if they decide to use the Potara earrings to fuse, they become Vegito. Now on paper, they appear to be the exact same fusion. They both are immensely powerful with access to Super Saiyan Blue. They both have the same combat abilities and personality. But there is one key difference between the two fusions: power restriction. You see, while Vegeta fought Zamasu, he was able to hit him with the full power of Super Saiyan Blue. But following the attack, he was unable to sustain the form and ended up defusing. On the other hand, Gogeta can tap into the full power of Super Saiyan Blue without draining all of his energy, and can keep the fight going if need be. Such a slight difference, but it is what decides who is the best in this tier list. So with that said, we are proud to crown Gogeta as the best fusion in Dragon Ball. In case you forgot, here's a quick recap of all the other rankings as well. At F tier we have Biku, Skinny Gogeta, Fat Gotenks, and Skinny Gotenks. At D tier we have Piccolo and Elder Kai. At C tier we have Kabito Kai. At B tier we have Gotenks. First, at A tier we have Zamasu and Kefla. Then at S tier we have Gogeta and Vegito, with Gogeta being our overall winner. Well, what do you think? Do you agree with our picks? Let us know how you would rank the fusions in the comments below, and I will see you all next time. Thank you all for indulging yourselves in all this information thus far. I hope you enjoyed it. Now there are a few more things that I'd like to go over before the video ends. Firstly, if you're in the mood for some great storytelling, We the Celestials has got you covered. Our We the Celestials My Hero Academia and Naruto What If channels retell the story of their namesake anime with a twist. Check it out if you're interested. Secondly, on behalf of We the Celestials, I'd like to thank everyone involved in production of today's awesome content. Their details can be found in the description below. Lastly, if you're interested in what we do here at We the Celestials, then I'd like to extend you an invitation to join the team. The only caveat being that we only accept members from 16 years and up to join our crew. You can sign up for whichever category fulfills your interest by joining the recruitment Discord using the link in the description below. We're always looking for members to join us. And if you want to see more content by me, check out Trina Do Hard on social media. Well, that's it from us for today's video, so thank you all for watching and have a great day.